Hello. Welcome back to our second live class here on Dynamic English. Because we are still under quarantine in some places, we are, instead of making the videos you're used to, we are transmitting live. So thank you for joining us. I see a few people are watching. So I'm just going to take a quick second to make sure that everyone is staying home, staying safe, following the guidelines, listen to the government. I know. But we prefer that you're at home watching this, as opposed to putting yourself in danger. So make sure that you're staying safe. We hope everybody is, and thank you again for joining us. As I said, this is our second live class here on YouTube. We're going to continue doing this for the next few months, probably, until we can get back to filming our regular videos, the style that me and Bernadette have brought to you in the past. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk today about phrasal verbs. Ooh. As an English teacher, I can tell you that phrasal verbs are probably the thing that Spanish speakers, really French speakers, Portuguese speakers, anybody trying to learn English usually has a problem with phrasal verbs. Part of that problem is because you're trying to literally translate every word. And with a phrasal verb, the first thing I'm going to tell you, you can't translate it, okay? We have to take both words, and sometimes three words, and translate the idea, okay? So a big part of learning English, and I mean a really big part of learning English, is not translating, right? Google Translate is cool, okay, yeah, for a word. But with phrasal verbs, you need to make sure to place both words in the search. So for example, if you put into Google Translate maybe wake up, that's going to be translated as one verb in Spanish as despertar, okay? In English, we're going to say wake up, or in the past, woke up. So I woke up at 5 a.m. today. Yeah, so that's the main idea that I want to express to you, is that with a phrasal verb, we're not translating word for word. We're translating the idea, okay? Phrasal verbs are really common. As an English speaker, I know I use them every day. If you watch the news, if you watch television series, movies, if you listen to music in English, you're going to hear phrasal verbs. They're everywhere. We have, I'd say, about 7,000 phrasal verbs. So if you're learning English, I just want to express to you that phrasal verbs, they don't have to be so complicated, all right? If you think about the idea of them, right, instead of trying to translate, you're going to get it. But with phrasal verbs, we never are going to recommend that you get a list of phrasal verbs and you memorize them. That's not really the idea. The idea of a phrasal verb is to pay attention to the context and when we use it. And I'm going to give you some examples later in the class of different phrasal verbs that have more than one meaning, okay? Another example of a phrasal verb that I know everybody knows, everybody. This is the one that the whole world knows what this phrasal verb means. If I say shut up, right? Everybody knows in Spanish that that's cállate. But if you take the word shut, cerrar, up, arriba, cerrar arriba, you see, it doesn't translate. But you've heard shut up. Maybe in the Black Eyed Peas song with Fergie, shut up, shut up, shut up, just shut up, shut up. Yeah. I hope that song is stuck in your head all day now, because now it's going to be in my head all day. But that's a phrasal verb. So you see, that's used in music. If you watch any series, How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, Friends, I don't know. If you watch any of those series, one episode, I promise you will hear at least 10 phrasal verbs. It's the way that native English speakers speak. And one thing about saying that is that we are never taught phrasal verbs. This is not something we learn in school. So it's just something we hear throughout our life, and we pay attention to the context and the situation, and that's why we know them. But as teachers, we understand these are not easy to learn. We get it. But they are easier if you don't translate, okay? Translate all of the words. So I'm going to go into just a slight boring part. We're going to talk about the grammar because maybe some of you aren't sure what is a phrasal verb. So if you're one of those people who really pay attention to grammar, we're basically just going to say in a phrasal verb, typically is whenever we combine a verb and a preposition. Okay, so maybe an example, shut up. Preposition up, verb shut. We also have phrasal verbs that combine a verb and an adjective. They're not as common. Those are called particle verbs. The majority of the ones we use are verb plus preposition. So, with that said, I'm going to give you some examples. Use them in context so that you can maybe have some idea of what we're talking about. And guys, we have comments. I want you to know we have comments turned on for this video. They're about 30 seconds delayed, but I do see Henry is joining us from Quito, Ecuador. So hi, Henry. Nice to have you. So later in the class, we're going to have a sort of Q&A session, question and answer, about phrasal verbs. So if you have some questions or you want to give me some examples, maybe some phrasal verbs that confuse you, then we will have time for that. Before I get started too, I want to mention on this same YouTube channel, let me think, we have three videos about phrasal verbs. The one video is, or I should say the first video, is about the most common phrasal verbs, which we're going to talk about some of those today. We also made a video about phrasal verbs commonly used in business. And we also made one with phrasal verbs commonly used in the gym. So I highly recommend that you go check those videos out after this class, of course, if you haven't already seen them, because you can see an example of how the phrasal verb is used in everyday life, right? And that's the idea here, is that you see the example and you try to repeat that. Because as we always say here, our goal here at Dynamic is, we say in Spanish, what do we say? No se usa inglés, o sea, no se habla, o sea, no se estudia inglés, se usa inglés. And that's the idea, is that we use English. And with phrasal verbs, it really just comes down to practice, using them, listening for them, and saying, okay, that's a phrasal verb, yeah. So hopefully after this class, you'll be able to recognize many more phrasal verbs. But as I said, there are thousands. So don't try to memorize these. It's almost impossible. I see Esther is joining us from Lima, Peru. Nice. We've got Chile, Ecuador, Peru. Let's see, do I have any Argentinians? Anybody? Argentina joining us today? Mexico, Colombia. Where are you at? You're not representing. So I'm going to go on. Okay. First example of a phrasal verb, go on. If you put go on in Google Translate, it's going to say continuar, to continue. So we're going to proceed or to continue. Let's go on. Let's see, pick up. Yeah. I'm going to pick up my water and take a drink. Now, I hear people sometimes get confused with this because Cusco, Peru, Colombia, yes, we're going. Cusco. I got so sick in Cusco because of the altitude. Oof. Pick up, though. Back to the class. Hello from Argentina. Yes, Argentina's here. Good. We're representing Latin America. We like that. So, pick up. I often hear people say, pero eso es camioneta. Yes. So, some phrasal verbs, okay, we have to remember that in English, we have a lot of verbs that are also a noun. Okay, there's a lot. The same thing with phrasal verbs. We have a lot of phrasal verbs that are also a noun. Okay, another example would maybe be makeup. Okay, you see, makeup. And thank you to our friends at MAC Cosmetics for always making sure we look good. Makeup. So as a noun, that's maquillaje. But as a phrasal verb, no. As a phrasal verb, makeup has a lot of different meanings, okay? Makeup can be tomar decisión. Make up your mind, okay? So you see there, we can't translate make, which is hacer, and up, arriba. No. Hacer arriba tu mente doesn't, no. So you have to think about the idea again. So yeah, pick up, make up. Another example maybe would be for makeup, is to invent a story that's not true, right? I can say, no, he made up the story, it was a lie, for example. And notice what I said there, made up. So rules for verbs also apply to phrasal verbs. So if we're talking about the past, we change that verb to the past. So instead of make up, if I'm talking about the past, it's made up. Yeah? If I'm keeping it in the present, the same rule applies. He, she, it makes up. She makes up a story every day. Yeah? Maybe. Somebody a coworker who calls in sick every day is like, oh yeah, she makes it up. Yeah, it's falso. So that's another example. There's two other uses of make up. I'm going to continue moving on so I can give you some more examples. But I highly encourage you to look those up, right? And kind of see how they're used in everyday life. Another thing I want to point out about some of the most common phrasal verbs is that tone is very important, okay? Because with phrasal verbs, and I'll give you some examples. If I say look out, if you go to the store, look out for I don't know, this candy bar. If they have it, buy it for me. It means just like, yeah, ver si tiene. But if I say, look out, right? That means, oh, there's danger, like cuidado. So you see there, it's the same phrasal verb, but my tone indicates whether it's a warning or a suggestion. So there's many phrasal verbs that follow that follow that same rule. If I say get up, like I could say, hey, you need to get up from bed. I know we're in quarantine, but it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It's time to get up, right? But if I say, get up, then it's a command. It's like your mother screaming at you or something. So pay attention to tone there, right? And you're going to be able to note that, obviously, in the inflection in the voice. But if it's written, you're usually going to have an exclamation point behind the command. So keep that in mind as well. So let's just go over some of the more common ones. I have a list here of the 100 most common. I'm not sure I'm going to use all of those. But for example, if I say to you, put on some clothes. I can't see you, but I know a lot of you are in quarantine and you're probably watching this in your pajamas. So, why don't you put on some clothes? Yeah? Put on. If you translate that literally, it's vestirse. Yeah, go over. Today, this class is to go over some phrasal verbs and to see what questions you have or any confusion that you have. Turn down. Again, An example that we've all heard in music. I know everybody has heard the song, "Turn down for what?" Right? Turn down. Which in one case can mean to reject. Yeah. I asked her on a date and she turned me down. Or it's bajar. Turn down the volume, please. It's too loud. So you see there, with these phrasal verbs, it all depends on the context. So don't try to translate the entire idea, the entire sentence. And in those cases, it's gonna make more sense. I will say put in. Okay, put in is a phrasal verb, but if I say to you, you receive from English the effort that you put in. Okay, and that's to give something. You put in an opinion. You put in your strength. You put in many things, but it can also mean add an ingredient to something, right? My coffee is bitter. I need to put in some sugar. So again, context. I'm just going to go through some of these really quick, see how many of you know these, and then I'm going to open up for questions. But I'm going to go through some examples or some phrasal verbs here, and maybe give you an example of how I would use it, how it's used in everyday life. So bear with me. I'm just kind of going to go through. To bring up, right? I hate to bring it up, but if you're watching this video and you still haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you should do that, okay? So to bring up, I introduced a topic, right? Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, tell all of your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma, tell your dad, your uncle, your cousins, because we really love those subscriptions. It makes us feel that what we're doing is good, and we love seeing your comments. I'm starting to see comments over here, so that's good. Yeah, so to bring up a topic. To look down, okay? Look down. So notice in that case, with look down, that's literally translated. Look, mirar, down. Look down. Okay. Now, earlier in the class, I said that there are some phrasal verbs that actually have 3 words. And technically, we don't really call those phrasal verbs. Sorry, I've got my other notes here. But you might see a verb plus an adjective or a particle. So we're going to call those the particle verbs, remember? Those sometimes can have 3 words, okay? So if I say look down on, okay, notice look down on. So verb, preposition, and adjective, or adjective and preposition, then that's going to take on a different context. If I say I look down on someone, in Spanish, I think the literal translation is como mirarlo por arriba, with sort of the that's to look down on someone. In another translation would be to judge someone, okay? So if you're here in Chile, we hear a lot, like maybe arribista, you know? Somebody that's always, they're looking down on people who don't have the same situation they do. It's an unfortunate fact of life, but there are people like that. But you notice there, look down and look down on, big difference in the significance. So again, I'm going to stress it. It just pay attention to the context. It all comes down to the context. So now that we know sort of the structure, let's go over just a few more examples. So let me reopen my tablet here. And then I'm going to sort of take some questions. I see one question. I know makeup as reconciliarse. Yeah, great example. Sebastian Hernandez. Makeup, if I make up with someone, then it means that we reconciled. Yeah, reconciliarse. It's like to say, lo siento, and the other person, lo siento. Somos amigos? Sí, somos amigos. Okay, that's to make up. Yeah, we had a fight, but then we made up. Now we're friends. Hopefully, none of you who are married or living with people during quarantine have to make up after. I know some people are going crazy. Yeah, so there's probably a lot of couples who are going to need to make up after this. And some that will need to make up after this as well. So, let's see. I don't know. There's so many. I don't want to go over too many. To review, repasar. I can pick out. Okay, I can pick out some examples here. I will say too, sometimes phrasal verbs, it's not really necessary to say the whole phrasal verb. For example, with pick out, the verb to pick, for us in English, mostly is elegir, right? It can also be como rascar, yeah, to pick at something, but yeah, to pick out is elegir. So I can say I can pick out some examples, or just I can pick some examples. So there's a few like that as well. Let's see, break up. It's another good example. I was just talking about couples in quarantine. So I hope that after quarantine ends, that you don't break up with your partner. Got to stay together, guys. Got to stay together. But break up can also mean to have an interruption. So I hope that this live class is not breaking up. I hope that the sound is good. You can hear everything. There's no freezing of the screen. Because if there's a cut in the signal, then we would be breaking up. Okay? Not terminando nuestras relaciones, no. But the signal would be bad, right? So you might see in a movie or something, say, oh, I'm sorry, you're breaking up, yeah? Or if somebody wanting money, like, I don't know, the cell phone or somebody calling wanting money, it's really common in English. We'll be like, oh, no, I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Ciao. It happens if you're on the metro, if something's really loud, or if the signal's not good. So I hope my signal is not breaking up, and I hope that we don't break up. I hope we have a relationship for a very long time. So let's see. To look back. Look back. Again, this is one that can be translated. Look, mirar atrás. Look back. But if I say, I like to look back at old photos, right? It means I go to review, to see old photos from the past. So again, context. Let's see, let's talk about get down. Get down. I know two uses of this. One, you can get down as sort of a precaution, like get down, right? Somebody might say, hi, okay. But then you can also get down, right? Dancing, twerking even would be to get down, yeah? And you know that song, get down, get down. Hope you guys don't mind my singing. Get through, okay? If you literally translated that what? To get through, we will get through this situation together. As a world, we have to. So as long as you're staying home, staying safe, taking the precautions when you go in public, eventually we will get through this. So I'm using get through as a replacement, maybe for the verb survive. I could just as easily say, we will survive this pandemic, right? But as a native English speaker, I'm probably going to say, no, we will get through it. We will get through it. You know, it's going to pass. We will survive. So if you're learning English, I would say definitely always kind of keep in mind that there's another way to say something without using a phrasal verb. It is possible. But in order to understand English speakers better and to improve your fluency and sound more fluent, you're going to want to try to incorporate some of these phrasal verbs into your everyday routine. One challenge I sometimes give my students, depending on their level, is to try and learn 3 new phrasal verbs every day. Yeah, and then just say to yourself some examples. Yeah, how would you use this in your everyday life? Because, as I said before, I don't want you to try and memorize these. I want you to try and use them. Yeah, and typically when you repeat something in your head 3-5 times, you're gonna say, yeah, okay, I know what that means. So, let's see. So, let me just go through this list. I'm trying to give you guys a variety. So, hold up. Just hold up. Again, hold up. I can say, hold up my tablet, as though it were Simba. Simba, right? But if I say hold up, it means wait. Yeah? Espera. Hold up. But guys, in another context, if I were to go into a store, maybe a mini market, with a gun and say, give me the money, give me the money, that would be a hold up. So if you see maybe on Money Heist or, Casa de Papel, or in any movies, you're going to hear that first. This is a hold up. Okay, that means somebody is there to rob you. So, 3 different contexts there, guys. Let's see. Give out. So again, I said I can give out advice, consejo, or I can give advice. Same thing. So in some of these, it's not necessary if you're not comfortable saying give out, but essentially it's dar. It's give. Give out, to give, yeah, to distribute. Kind of the same idea there. Turn around. I know you've all heard this one. Everybody knows this song. And I think it's the only video we have right now, dynamic, on TikTok, is a video of me. Turn around. Yeah. So again, that can literally be translated. Turn around. Like, if you ever hear maybe Waze or Google Maps when you're driving in English, it will say turn around at the next exit. It means like sacar la vuelta. So kind of two different contexts there. If that is something that you're interested in, I always recommend to my students as well, putting your cell phone to English for maybe 1 week and see how you do. I guarantee you're going to learn some new vocabulary. You're going to see some new words, and probably phrasal verbs as well. So if you're driving around and you have Waze or Google, change the settings to English, and you're going to start to hear some of these phrasal verbs used in directions. Yeah, go straight. Yeah, turn around. You're going to start to think, okay, yeah. Take out. Probably all seen that word, take out. Okay. I can take someone out, which means una cita, a date, yeah. Or I can get takeout, which is comida para llevar. So again, notice that we're not translating there. It's the idea. We also say carry out sometimes for comida rápida. Yeah. If I say get out. Again, most everybody knows that. And a really good movie. If you've never seen the movie Get Out, yeah, está buena. Really, really good. Highly recommend that. If you're locked inside and you need a good movie recommendation, Get Out. Give in. Okay, if you give in, it's basically to quit, to rendirse. So I've seen a lot of TikTok videos lately, kind of addicted, and parents. I know a lot of parents right now are giving in to their children. They're just like, yeah, Okay, I give in. I surrender. I'm done. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to maybe cover I don't know, five more examples. And then I'm going to turn this. I see that we have some questions coming in. Hey, how's everybody? Oh, yeah. I don't know the verb hole up. Sebastian, if you're trying to be dirty, I don't know about that. I've never heard hole up. I've only heard hold up. Give in, give up. Same. Yeah. Very, very similar. Synonyms. Yeah. If you say, I give in, I give up. Yeah. Similar idea there. Good question, Rodrigo. Good question. Set down. Okay. So now I picked up my water. Drink my water. And now I'm going to set down. Set down my water. I set it down. Man, I don't know. Sit up. Okay. Sit up is to sentarse. Yeah. So if you're and somebody says sit up, then what would that be like? Postura? Yeah, your posture. You sit up. But as I mentioned before, sit up is also an exercise phrasal verb. It's I don't know. I think in Spanish you just say abdominales, but a sit up is like a crunch. Yeah. So it's an exercise. Two different contexts. Yeah. One is an exercise, but if your teacher says sit up, then you correct your posture. So again, it's an example of one that's a command. All depending on context, all depending on tone. I said look down earlier. Look up. Well, that's a literally translated phrasal verb. Look up. Oh, neato. Yeah. But if I tell you to look up 3 new phrasal verbs every day, I'm not telling you to mirar al cielo para ver phrasal verbs. No. I'm telling you to research or to search, right? To find them. Look up something in a dictionary. Look up something in an encyclopedia. Look up something on Google. Yeah? So again, 2 different meanings. But you see the difference there in context. Yeah? Okay, let's just do maybe 3 more. Man, there's so many. I used put in earlier, put on, vestirse, or put on, makeup. See, you could use put on makeup. Well, one's a phrasal verb, and makeup in this case is a noun. Take down. If I remove the map from the wall, I'm going to take down the map. I'm not going to do that though. I love my map. Yeah, man. Let's see. Take off. I'm not going to take off my clothes. But if you sacar la ropa, you take off. Again, in music, if you're a Lana Del Rey fan, and The Weeknd, take off, take off, take off all your clothes, something like that. Yeah, I know that's not a good Lana Del Rey, but you get the idea. Turn off. I hope you do not turn off this video. It's apagarlo. Yeah. And let's do one more example. Man. Yeah, workout. I said earlier, exercise, workout. Typically, I hear this all the time, I need to make exercise. First thing in English, we do exercise, but a native speaker, they're not going to say, I'm going to the gym to exercise. No, never. They're going to say, no, I'm going to the gym to work out. Yeah. If a relationship doesn't work out, then you break up. So see what I did there? I just used as many phrasal verbs as I could, but if this relationship doesn't work out and we have to break up, I will be a sad panda. Sad panda. So, I hope that kind of explains what phrasal verbs are and how we use them. I know this is not a typical class because with phrasal verbs, there's no real grammatical rule. It's pretty open. It's really all about the idea. Okay, so I see a few comments here. So now is the time to start asking things. If you want to know, to hold up. Yes. Sorry. Is it hold? See, that's new. I thought it was hold up, but okay, yeah. To hold up. Yes, I guess we are all holed up, but okay. Good example. And yeah, I know that. Rick Adams. Thank you. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, to hole up is to sequester yourself. Yeah, I completely forgot about this. See, there are so many phrasal verbs that even sometimes I say, really? That's a phrasal verb? But yeah, to hole up, I think most of us are probably hold, but Holed, okay? So it takes on a past tense, and that means sequestered or encerrados, like locked up. But it's to say like maybe a rabbit en el hoyo, en el hoyo, is hidden and holed up. So yeah, holed up for 2 days in a tiny cottage in Snowdonia. Okay, but yes, good example. I am going to the gym. Esteban Nunez. I am going to the gym to work out. We wouldn't use for there, but yeah, work out. Yep. Instead of exercise. If our relationship doesn't work out, we must break up and just move on with our lives. Yes, it's true. But hopefully we can keep a good relationship here, Rodrigo. Like I said, we're gonna try and do at least one video per week, one class per week on YouTube, and we're also doing one class per week on Instagram. That might change in the future. We might do 2 on Instagram and 2 on YouTube. I don't know. It's an experiment, yeah. But I am glad that you're here with us today. And this is going to be you'll be able to see this after. So if you missed the first part of the class, then you can always go back and watch. Cueva, rabbit's house. Yeah, Rick Adams, cueva in English is a cave. So maybe a bear lives in a cave, but for a rabbit, we just call it a hole. It's the hole. Yeah, I am going to the gym to work out. Correct, to work out. The first 2 indicates the direction, al gimnasio. The second use of to is because you have that infinitive verb, to work out. It expresses the purpose of what you're doing. Thank you for your lesson. No, thank you, Diego. I don't have Jubinelli. I don't know how you pronounce that. Gubinelli. Yeah, I mean, I know today's class isn't really a grammar class or focused on structure, because like I said, this phrasal verbs they're not really that easy to teach, to be honest, because we just use them. So that's where I recommend that you go and watch the phrasal verb videos that we've done in the past here on this channel, and you're going to see how we use them in everyday life. And I will say my personal favorite to film was the gym phrasal verbs, and it didn't get much love, guys. It really didn't get much love. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. The business phrasal verbs, I play 3 different characters, so could be interesting for you. So hopefully you can get a laugh and see an example of how these are used. Yeah, because I think with phrasal verbs, that's putting it in context and observing it. That's the main key here. Let's see. Let's go back to some questions. Could you explain a little more about the conjugation of phrasal verbs in past tenses? So, yeah, really good question, Sebastian Hernandez. The conjugation stays the same, okay? So remember in English that when we put a verb in the past tense, it's conjugated the same for everybody, okay? With the exception of to be, and that's I was, you were. It's the one exception. But, for example, have. I had, you had, we had, they had. I went, you went, they went, she went. Same thing with phrasal verbs. So if we're talking about the past, I worked out yesterday. Say, worked with ed is the past. That's not true. I didn't work out. No, I don't work out. This is all natural. But in the past, I worked out, you worked out, she worked out, he worked out, it worked out, they worked out, we worked out. It's the same. So same rules for verbs, regular, because we don't really conjugate. It's not yo hice, tú hiciste, ellos hicieron. No. And remember, in English, everybody's the same in the past. Everybody. So yeah, good question. And then the same verb rules follow. If we're talking about continuous, I am working out, she is working out, you are working out, we are working out, right? I work out, if it's in present, I work out every day. That's a lie, I know. But if I'm talking in present, then he, she, it works out. She works out every day. Yeah, really good question, but no conjugation there. Thanks. Cueva is a Spanish word. Yeah, I know, Rick. Cueva is a Spanish word. It's an Italian last name. I'm used to hear. Yeah, okay. I can't see, but I'm gonna say Giubinelli. If it's Italian, we'll say Giubinelli. Thanks, Diego, for clarifying that. Oh, really good question, Esteban. Yeah, classes. It says y clases por Zoom. Yeah, so guys, if you are a subscriber to our YouTube channel, but you haven't yet taken classes, we are offering, and we do offer right now in this moment, in the situation we're in, all of our classes are online. Okay, we are not willing to put our teachers or our students in risk of coming in contact or having to use a lot of public transportation, because we travel a lot. We go from one class to the next, to the next, to the next. So we're in the metro and the micro buses all day when we're not in class. So that's kind of risky. So right now, everything is online. Our YouTube, Instagram, and yeah, as far as classes, we can, I can't tell you how many platforms we can use. Zoom, I think, is the most popular. Blue Jeans, Microsoft Teams, Google Hangouts, Skype, WhatsApp, FaceTime. I mean, any of those. As long as you are comfortable using those platforms and your teacher, is in agreement, we can do classes wherever you want, whenever you want. So yeah, great question. But yeah, Zoom, definitely. But that's on a one-to-one basis with your teacher. Our classes are all personalized. It's you and the teacher. It's not going to be an app or a program that you sign up for. It's direct. So that way you get conversation and practice correcting mistakes, things like that. But yeah, good question. I'm not seeing any more questions about phrasal verbs. I'm not sure if anybody has any more questions. Any phrasal verbs that you hear that you say, what? I don't understand. Why? How? Or if you want, tell me some of the most common ones that you know. I don't know. Or better question, are there any phrasal verbs that you've already incorporated into your English that you use? Yeah. I'm sure everybody, if you're speaking English, you would say, shut up. Shut up. Yeah. Hopefully nobody is telling me at their computer, shut up. Hopefully. Yeah. Well, cool, guys. I don't see any more comments coming in, so I just want to thank you again. I know we're at about 45 minutes, so some of you are watching on your lunch break, so you might have to go back to work here soon. So again, thank you for joining us today. As I said before, tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your grandma, because while we're all inside and working from home, we can't spend all day watching Netflix or all day on TikTok, but you have some time. So definitely take a chance to watch our videos on YouTube. Check out our Instagram. There's a lot of really interesting posts there that teach some sort of new lesson every day, whether it's vocabulary, whether it's grammar, whether it's phrasal verbs. We have a lot of posts there, so go check those out and give them some love. Diego, I see that you're asking, I would like to know how much the classes cost if we are from Argentina, for example. One class per week, and bearing in mind that it's priced in dollars. Yeah, Diego, to be honest, I don't know that information. I have no idea. I've worked with Dynamic English for 3 years, and I can't tell you how much what the price is, to be honest. But go to our website, dynamicenglish.cl, write us an email, and one of the administrators, because we have an amazing office staff of 5, so one of them, maybe Sophia or Andrea, can reach out, maybe Anna, I don't even know who does that, and I don't know the price, but I will say, whatever the price, it's worth it, because as I said before, you're going to get that personalized class, okay? In the first class with your teacher, we're going to ask you questions to get to know you, get to know what you're interested in, so that we can focus and give you articles to read and things that you're interested in that are also going to help you improve English and to help strike up a conversation, because our classes are conversation-based. So typically the first 45 minutes of my classes is nothing but conversation. How's it going? What are you doing? How's life? And then we go into the lesson. So what is different about us is that it's that one-on-one contact, right? It's not like some of the other institutes who are going to make you do an app or answer questions by clicking a box or choosing things. No, this is personalized to you. Write to us on our website, send us an email, and we can get the prices. I think some people do 20-hour courses, some people do 40. I have one student, he's already doing 2. He paid for 2, and so I'll have him for the next 5 months, which is good. So definitely write us. Muchas gracias. How can I take the personal classes if I'm in Quito? In Quito, we offer everything right now is online. And I know Ecuador's not in a really good situation to be out of quarantine. We are based here in Santiago, Chile. All of our professors are here. But with that said, I have 70 professors. So an online class for Quito, no problem. And I know there's various ways to pay. I think we accept PayPal, we accept other things, other forms of payment. Again, I'm not really sure. But yeah, Quito, Ecuador, no problem. No problem. Buenos Aires, Bogota, Venezuela, wherever you want. Mexico City, right now we have students in Lima, Mexico City, Buenos Aires, I think some in Mendoza. So no problem for the online classes. But again, just write to us on the website, dynamicenglish.cl, and we can get that information sent to you. Really, again, thank you for taking the time today. Check out our Instagram. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to this channel. And that way you can see all of our videos. Hopefully we can get back to the studio and start filming out. Phrasal verb. We can plan out and get some good content to you, where I get to run around the streets and ask people questions like I like to do. So hopefully that will come. Pichidegua, yes, we can offer classes to anyone in Pichidegua. If you don't know Pichidegua, Chile, I highly recommend it. It's a quaint, charming, beautiful little town with really great people. So shout out to Pichidegua. So yeah, I'm gonna end this then. Your enunciation is awesome. It makes it so easy to follow your speech. Thank you. I'm speaking a little slower than I normally would. If I'm on the phone with my family in the United States, it's a little faster, but thank you. That's good to know. So I hope that you enjoyed today. Like I said, check out those videos. Check us out on Instagram. Subscribe to the channel. Send us an email. We'll get you some information, and we can definitely help with online classes. That's what we're here for. That's what our goal is to help you feel comfortable learning and speaking and using English, because today English is more important than ever. So thanks again. This has been a blast. So until next week, we'll be announcing when next week's class will be, so stay tuned. And until then, see you later, guys.